Billy Joe, 30-0 and still WBO World Super Middleweight champion victorious in tonight's main event. Were you happy with that performance?
This is not really, no, I wasn't, but, you know, I'm not taking anything away from Martin, you know, he come with a good game plan. I'm fine, thanks. He got through it, what he came to do. He tucked up, survived well, but, I can only be a bit critical of myself because, I'm a bit ring rusty, man. Everything, I felt my jab and that was there, but there was just that bit of snap missing, and my legs and everything wasn't there really. I was trying to look for stuff when naturally it's there.
I think you've maybe been a bit harsh on yourself. I thought that the jab looked good. I thought you showed good speed and variety, especially considering that layoff. But talking about Martin, he was always going to be tough to get out of there tonight, wasn't he?
No, listen, I knew that. I knew that from day one this fight was took. But, when you're at home and, when you're on training camp, shall I say, and you're getting ready for Canelo Alvarez and you're in the biggest fight of your life and, you got that fear factor, you got everything there. And then pandemic obviously come and, I can only be thankful to be out this year. But then you're back in camp and it's sort of like a defence against Martin Murray. I've penciled in the fight twice in 2018. Sort of like a bit of an hard kick in the teeth. But look, I've got to be thankful, like I say, and thank my management, MTK, that I'm even out this year. So it is what it is. We move on. I'm 30-0, I'm still unbeaten, still world champion. I've been world champion now since 2015. People can run my performance down, they can run this down, this was rubbish, that were rubbish, but let's make the big fights. Because it's certainly not me turning them away. Eddie knows that I'm always there to sign them. I've had the Canelo fight signed and that, and it fell through. That's no one's fault. It was the complete world come to shut down. But listen, thank God the family's well, and I'm even out this year. So a big word on to my lads as well, boxed on the show tonight. Louis Edmonds and Edmondson and Dante Dixon, they did well.
Do you have a word to share on Martin tonight? A tough man and a good person as well. And as you spoke about through the week, very unfortunate possibly never to become a world champion in his career.
Do you know what? He was a cunning old fox. He knew what he was doing. He had the ref on his side. He had the ref eating out of his hand. And fair play to him. I learned a lot from him, to be honest. Perhaps, everything happens for a reason. And boxing him there, I learned a hell of a lot from that fight. Just the little tricks that he was doing in there, and I was thinking, I haven't seen them before. So like I say, you learn every day. And how he was using his elbows and his arms inside and utilising his head work inside. He was inside, the inside work, he would have timed me up and having the best of the work there. But, fair play to him, hats off to him. He's a veteran to the game. I can only be happy for him that he's going home to his family with a nice few quid for Christmas. Sadly for him and himself and Oliver, it wasn't his night, it was my night. And I dedicate it to my uncle Tom Bean, who passed away, so that one's for him.
Talking about still learning every day, learning on the job, working with some great trainers, the likes of Dom Ingle, Ben Davison, Mark Tibbs most recently out in Fuerteventura. Yep. Have you been able to pick and learn little bits and little aspects from all of them guys? Yeah,
I'll pick up with everyone I can. Tonight it was just a full camp of, I've been away, it's been a long arse year for me. Fights are not happening over COVID, and it's no one's fault. It may sound like I'm having a go and having a pop at people, but it's a bit frustrating to myself, really, about tonight, the way I performed. But, I don't even know how it went. You know what I mean? I was in there going with the moment. It was very scrappy at times. There were some good shots at times. It was what it was. But listen, I'm 30-0 now and I'm world champion, so I'm doing something right.
Let's talk about the big one in Texas on December 19th. Callum Smith, of course, against Canelo Alvarez. Whether it is Canelo, of course, we had the disappointing fallout of that fight in the summer, or it's a huge all-British unification. Do you want the winner of that fight in 2021?
Listen, most definitely, fair play to Smith. I really, really do hope and wish him all the success and all the best in the world in that fight. I really do. I think he's got the tools to do the job. But again, as we see there tonight, Canelo would have been training since May for this fight, and in camp and not left camp, and he would have had Smith in his eyesight from day one. It's sort of like a reverse psychology, because Smith was probably thinking Billy Joe's getting the fight and probably laying off the gym and not working on stuff where he should, and then it's been sprung on him 5 or 6 weeks. They're very clever the way they work. But if Smith's done his own work and prepared right, then I'll give him a good chance of winning the fight.
If you can't get the winner of that fight next, do you feel it's important for your career, reputation as well, possibly, that we see you with a big name, the likes of Danny Jacobs, Golovkin, all
most
these guys?
Definitely. Look, I'm just going to leave that with my management, MTK. They've guided me from day one. They've been absolutely brilliant with me from day one. you know, they've persevered with me from day one, and they've put my career where it is today. So I can only thank MTK for that, and I will leave that down to them. But we are pushing for big fights constantly. You know, I want to know my next date. I want to know it next week after the Canelo fight. I want to know my date, my next date, because you know I need to know it. It's got to be done now because I'm not getting any younger, and these years are passing by, and I want to show my full true potential, and I feel that I'm being robbed of that for these big fights.
We're certainly looking forward to those big fights, Billy. Just before we let you go, a tough year in 2020 rather, but a good end to it to top a bill live on Sky for you tonight. Yeah,
listen, I just want to thank everybody there and everybody who watched at home and tuned in. And stay safe, people. It's a horrible world out there, and God bless everyone. Have a good Christmas.
Billy Joe, well done, mate. Congratulations.